Only 2 races left to go for the 2022 F1 season, and Red Bull are trying to reach incredible heights to end of the season. With a bunch of records set already, Red Bull hope to smash them more to end the season stronger than ever. Watch the video to find out which records Red Bull are trying to break before the end of the season. At this weekend's Sao Paulo Grand Prix, Max Verstappen feels optimistic about his chances of winning again and adding to his recently acquired record for the most victories in a single F1 season. Verstappen moved one ahead of Sebastian Vettel from 2013 and Michael Schumacher from 2004, with his 14th victory of the season last time out in Mexico. He has opportunities to increase that total in Brazil and Abu Dhabi. Assessing his chances of winning again at Interlagos, Verstappen said, "I think we have a good chance. The car is quick and I think this track normally should be good for us. I'm excited and of course I'll try to win." Verstappen has already triumphed in Sao Paulo, having done so in the 2019 race. However, the Dutchman was forced to settle for second place last season as Mercedes opponent Lewis Hamilton overtook him in a thrilling finish. Hamilton finished second in the last 2 races, raising the possibility of a rematch in 2022. Verstappen added, "Not necessarily a rematch. We were just not quick enough last year. I think this year it's completely different. The car is a lot more competitive. I just see that there's a really good opportunity to win, so we'll definitely try that." As for Verstappen's teammate Sergio Perez, the Mexican driver is motivated to capitalize on his current 5-point lead over Ferrari opponent Charles Leclerc and secure Red Bull's top 2 driver spots in the Drivers' Championship. "I am going into the final 2 races of the season still feeling like I have everything to win. We might be Constructors' Champions, but as a team, and for me personally, it is hugely important to secure a 1-2 in the Drivers' Championship," said Perez. "For that, I need to keep fighting and stay driven to achieve the best possible result in every race, including this weekend's sprint. The sprint is a chance to score vital points, so it is important we get a good practice session in on Friday morning and qualify well. If we put everything together this weekend, we are the team to beat and we are still so driven to maintain the incredible form we've had going this season." For a number of reasons, Verstappen is glad to be back at Interlagos. In addition to the layout, he enjoys the circuit's atmosphere and history. "The fans love Formula 1. A lot of passion goes into it. We love coming here," he said to Sky Sports during the press conference. In Brazil, the Red Bull Racing driver will be aiming for his 15th victory of the year, and the team might win its 10th straight race, potentially approaching McLaren's record of 11 wins in a row. He's won 1 time at Interlagos, but he has been on the podium a number of times. Verstappen remarked, "Winning was an amazing feeling, but being on the podium is super nice." Next to this, Verstappen also commented on the penalty giving to Red Bull because of the cost cap breach. Max Verstappen is hoping that the Red Bull Racing penalty for lost time in the wind tunnel will actually give them more motivation. The 2-time world champion asserts that a good car can be constructed using less time in the wind tunnel. Red Bull Racing was fined $7 million and given a 10% decrease in wind tunnel time in 2023 for exceeding the budget cap. Since they already had the least amount of wind tunnel and CFD time at the beginning of 2023 as the top team in this season, the latter in particular will affect the team. On the contrary, Verstappen hopes these measures will motivate his team. "It will affect us, but how much? I don't know yet. But I am confident that the team and the people we have can use that as extra motivation to try and do even better," said the Red Bull driver at the press conference ahead of the Brazilian Grand Prix. "I know, of course, they always give their best, but we have a very competitive car. We have a lot of great ideas. I think already for next year as well with the car, and hopefully it's going to be enough," the Dutchman concluded. Verstappen is currently primarily focused on 2022, which offers him 2 more opportunities to win a Grand Prix and sharpen his new set record for most races won in a season. And this trait is exactly what sets Verstappen apart from other drivers according to Horner. The Red Bull boss, Christian Horner, claims that Max Verstappen's ascent to the Formula 1 World Championship this year has been the most dominant performance from a driver he has ever seen. Verstappen not only won his 2nd F1 Drivers' Championship in 2022, but also set the record for the most victories in a season with 14 Grand Prix triumphs. And while one team's dominance is a typical occurrence in Grand Prix racing, Horner believes that Verstappen's assault this year stands out because of its unique characteristics. When asked if he thought 2022 was the most dominant driver-driven season he'd ever witnessed, Horner responded, "There's been years of domination with Mercedes, but I think as an individual driver, probably yes. He's won the most Grand Prix in a year now within 22 races. On top of that, he's won 2 sprint races, and he's not won all of them from pole position. He's had to fight and race for a lot of those victories. I think when we look back at the end of the year, it is an absolutely outstanding year that Max has driven. He hasn't put a wheel wrong. He's been perfect throughout the season. It's incredible the level of consistency that he's been able to achieve. Red Bull have won both championships for the first time since the glory years it experienced with Sebastian Vettel from 2010 to 2013. This includes a Constructors' Championship. Comparing the two drivers, Horner believes Verstappen is not receiving the credit he merits, given how well he's currently driving. They are two very different drivers, two phenomenally successful drivers, he said. I think what Sebastian has achieved in his career puts him among one of the greats and most successful drivers in the sport. But I think Max, what we're seeing today and this year, we're actually witnessing something very special. I actually think his achievements sometimes don't receive the plaudits that they should. Because I think actually what we've witnessed this year is an absolutely outstanding performance from a driver that is very much at the top of his game. In addition, Verstappen and Vettel's success, according to Horner, is due in part to the cars and performance Red Bull contributed to the development of. There's a lot of people sitting around the engineering office and the garage and back at the factory that are all the same people that did that with Sebastian that are doing it again with Max, he said. I think the DNA of our team is that we're a race team. We're a team of racers. We push the boundaries. We're aggressive in the way that we go racing, and we follow our passion, which is to go out there and do our very, very best. We follow Dietrich Mateschit's mantra of no risk, no fun. And Horner isn't the only one that's been speaking on Verstappen's talent recently. As Max Verstappen, the two-time Formula 1 world champion, is an exceptional driver who shows up every 100 years, according to Matthias Lauda. Verstappen, who had already won a second championship 2 races prior in Japan, just surpassed the record for the most victories in a single F1 season, with his 14th triumph at the 2022 in the Mexican Grand Prix. Over the 2021 and 2022 campaigns, the Dutchman extended his winning streak, winning 25 races overall with only 9 not ending in first or second place. And Matthias Lauda, the son of the late 3-time world champion Niki Lauda, believes Verstappen is a one-of-a-kind driver. This year, Mercedes is a step behind Red Bull and Ferrari, and that's why the championship is not as exciting as last year. But I'm so impressed with Max Verstappen, Lauda exclusively told the media. He's just a talent that will show up every 100 years. He's just so good, and I don't see any weak point on him. Normally, every racing driver has a weak point, but with Max, I don't see any. He is so cool, relaxed, and can handle the pressure better than anybody else. He's always calm, and in the beginning of his career, sometimes he did make mistakes or was too aggressive. But this year, he made a massive change. Last year, he was sometimes over-aggressive, but he is going to be very hard to beat in the future, and it's going to be a nightmare for all the other drivers. In the same car, he's going to be very hard to beat. But on the other hand, you can never underestimate Lewis Hamilton when the car is good again. What are your opinions on Verstappen and his chances on winning the last 2 races of the season? Let us know in the comments below. As always, thanks for watching the video, and we'll see you in the next one.